television. And the reason why I come to conventions, and I think the reason why most of us come to conventions, is to sort of complete that organic circle. It's like to finally share our common knowledge and our common experience of the program or the series of programs that we've done. And we love it. And there's loads of actors that have been other shows that have been on, big name actors who've been at conventions. And they're like, what's it like? Is it a bit weird or sad? I used to say, is it sad? How the hell can we say that? I was talking to a huge actor, and he was going this, because he used to get really bad information about what it was like going to a convention, right? And I said, the outpouring of love will absolutely destroy you emotionally. So you'll sign thousands of autographs, take thousands of pictures, and see all these smiling faces, and be asked questions you were never expected to be asked or answered. And you will have an experience. When you get to the end of that experience, you'll sleep for 3 days. Because it's not what we're used to. We're making TV. If we had an audience like this, it would be fantastic. But we really are making this stuff on our own, giving it to you and hoping you like it. You know, so that's the thing. So being back with the Supernatural family. I always hated the word fandom. Fan is short for fanatic. Fanatic is a terrible word. George Santana said once, a fanatic is one who redoubles his effort when he's lost sight of his aim. And that's how Chuck Jones created the Coyote, Wile E. Coyote. So a fanatic is one who redoubles his effort when he's lost sight of his aim. And we're not fanatics, we are amateurs, we're lovers of, you know what I mean? We wear our hearts on our sleeves, even if they are ridiculous costumes with cheap Macintosh colours. We wear our hearts on our sleeves, the stuff that we used to be castigated for. Now people can dye their hair and do all that stuff and rocks thrown at them, I guess. And so I love the fact that the fandom, for want of a much better word, the Supernatural became the family because people treated each other like family, and that's what we saw. And we talk about this today. If somebody falls over, somebody has an anxiety attack in a convention, you don't just walk around them. Oh, by the way, I just realised what the carpet is.
Yep. It's the shiny.
I should have brought my big wheel. It's the shiny carpet. But yeah, so just to tighten that up, the whole thing is that, you know, we help each other, we support each other, we don't care about our differences, nobody gives a damn about your sexuality, your identifying moniker, it doesn't matter to anybody here. That's the most amazing thing that I see. You know, the nastiest fight that ever happened at Comic-Con in San Diego was somebody stabbed another guy with a pencil in his hand over a girl. I was like, it wasn't over a girl. It was over somebody's interpretation of Klingon or something. It was, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's that wonderful thing of whimsy, and love is everything. Love is what this is all about. We love coming to see you. We love you. It's the truth. It's a long time. For a long time. It's that part has never worn out. That part never wears out. The stuff that I love, you guys, I've been lucky enough to know that you guys tend to love it. So I have such fun with the shows that I do, being so excited that you guys will get around to watching Doom Patrol eventually and understand what that's about. Because it's so good. I'm like, I love this. It's done so well. It's like, it's done with passion, and done with heart, and done with caring. And that's the same way as I feel about Supernatural, and Battlestar, and Firefly, and all the things I've been lucky to be part of. I mean, just amazing stuff.
Amazing.
You know, you've been in some great shows. And you know what it is. It's all about love. It is all about love. It's not cynical. It's not the money. I mean, we have to make a living, and we have to travel, and we have to do those things. But it's not a cynical aspect. It's the fact that we love our audience and we get to see it. That being said, I'm done talking.
It is all about love. And for the King of Hell, you were so lovable to me. Our King, you were amazing. You are such a creative character of Holly. What what was your first sort of material to work with, and your first impression of how you were gonna, you know, really how you were gonna create this lovable, you know, evil person?
I don't know if that's actually the path, but I'm glad that's the way it ended up.
Absolutely.
It looks really simple, and it isn't. What it was is the wonderful writer Ben Edlund. Ben Edlund is one of my heroes for many reasons. Primarily because he created the tick.
Yep. Woo!
I just watched the tick versus dinosaur reel the other day. This is just genius. This is Ben at school. This is what Ben did when he was at school. He created the tick. I mean, he's absolutely magical. He also did, he wrote French Mistake, Supernatural. He's that guy. He's that guy who thinks that way. And he created Crowley. He created Crowley as we know Crowley. And I was good friends with Kim Manners, who was the original showrunner of Supernatural. The boys loved him very much. And I knew the guy really well. I'd seen him in Canada all the time. He directed me and other stuff. He worked on X-Files, he worked on Mantis, he worked on 21 Jump Street back in the day. And we talked for hours. We hung out in Gerard, in the bar what was it called back then? It was called the Meridian originally, the Meridian Hotel. And he always said, oh, you gotta meet the boys are great, you gotta meet these kids, they're amazing, they're just so good. You gotta come, and it slipped through, it never happened. And then unfortunately Kim passed. And I was talking to his brother, of all things, and he was like, no, he's not doing well, he passed. And then Crowley came up, and I just thought it was this wonderful cosmic joke that I'd never done Supernatural, I'd never even seen a Supernatural audition or an offer. And I was like, this came up, and I actually went and auditioned for it because I thought it was funny. And 8 years later, it was fantastic. It's an amazing program. I have to watch all those boys and girls on that show. Before they were married, before they had kids, or being early into their marriage, whatever it was, but they totally changed. Everybody's having children. I was the old man, Jim would argue with that. But it was just an interesting place to be. You know what I'm saying? It was just an incredible place to be. Nearly a decade of my life spent there. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I do love it.
I know you guys are anxious to ask our questions, so you can line up at the mic. Just be cognizant of
What's it like working with Jensen and Jared? What's it like working with Misha?
No, I wanted to ask you, what's it like, your, debut episode? What was it like, the scene you filmed under the bridge?
Kissing. El Harvey.
Tell us that story, will you, Mark?
So El Harvey is a Canadian actor and was the only actor they could find apparently in Canada that would kiss a man on the screen. I was like, isn't this like a really sort of liberal country? Well, what I found out was day players in Canada get paid a crap load of money. Day players in America, because of residuals and stuff, which doesn't really work, you get like $750 or $1,000 to work. In Canada, because you don't get residuals, you get like $3,500 for a day's work. So these guys could pick and choose what they wanted to do, and apparently nobody wanted to kiss me. They didn't know it was me, so that's okay. But here's the thing, they finally find this guy, and this guy is enormously tall. He's 6'2" or 6'3", and he's a big boy. And I was chatting away to him, we're getting around to this shot, and it was my first real sort of, the opening of the show was my first thing. It's like, and all I talked to him, the more sort of jovial he got and couldn't act. He got like fun, and then it all became too big and funny. And Phil, who was directing, was like, just leave him alone. I said, I don't think he can do it. I said, well, if I leave him alone, he starts getting nervous. So leave him alone, he started getting nervous and sweaty, and started thinking, I got to kiss this guy on camera. She was like, yeah, whatever. So, oh God, we shot that opening scene, I think, for 6 hours. All due love and respect to El Harvey Gold, he apparently couldn't hit a mark, which was critical because it's a reveal. It's a complicated shot where he has to turn and I appear at the right time. It's complicated, and it just got difficult. And then when we got to the kiss, I grabbed the back of his head and he started fighting me. He's a big boy. I was like, oh my God. I didn't kissing him was like kissing a piece of paper. It wasn't that exciting, seriously. Kissing Jim Beaver was so much nicer. Jim is a way better kisser. Jim has much softer lips. If it wasn't COVID, I would have just tried it out. But it wasn't kissing him. It was my hand on the back of his clammy head. He's like, so now I understand dating. For you lot out there, date tall men with clammy heads. Personal hygiene is a lot, it really is a lot. But we got it. I mean, the crew was laughing from that minute forwards, and it's the same crew I worked with for 8 years, and they were just like.
I love that image in my head, so thank you for that part. Hi, we'll start over here with you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I saw you for the first time in the Fire episode of The X-Files, and I've watched you since then. And you've basically
What do you mean you've watched me?
I've watched you over the years.
From afar,
Basically become the king of genre television. Was that just a happy accident, or when you came to the States to start acting here, different kind of plan for yourself? Did you see something different for yourself?
I'm a
Or did you
musician.
just end up where you needed to be?
I'm a musician. I was never expected to be an actor. And I intersected with it when I was younger, and it didn't work out for me the way I wanted it to. And so I gave up doing that. So I was making records and touring and doing that stuff. And then actually I got sober. I got sober on the second day of 1990. And everybody I want to interact with since that day. But I got sober and I couldn't play. I really wasn't doing well playing. I didn't like the idea of playing. I just wasn't physically comfortable or any other way. I took a job and then I ended up doing this play. And this play won all these awards for 2 hours. And then I went back to England and Ireland and I ended up doing In the Name of the Father, which is an extraordinary film. And then I came back to the States to come home. When I finished, right after I finished In the Name of the Father and reshoots, I did X-Files, which was just like the most extraordinary experience. And I thought, actually no, I was doing a play, and remember Barbara Clayman? Do you remember Barbara Clayman? So casting director, she came to the play I was doing, it was like, you're very good, darling. Do you have a SAG card? I'm like, no, do I need one? She's like, oh, for God's sake. So she put me on Silk Stockings.
Oh.
So she tapped-hearted me into the union, Silk Stockings. And another night, it was sold out for like months, this play. And there's a guy there and he goes, hey, I'm with this agency. Do you have an agent? And I'm like, no, do I need one? So I signed to a big agency, and it was just, that was the start of what happened. I never really wanted to do it. It just sort of fell in, and then X-Files became my first real sojourn into TV, and it was an extraordinary episode to do. They weren't even a series at that point. And Peter, I saw this from Peter Roth, and he was like, yeah, because I remember sending a telegram saying, don't worry about the numbers, it will be a series, which I thought was incredible. It was like the 11th episode. I had so much fun doing that, and the director was like, wow, you really love doing what you do. And I'm like, well, doesn't everybody? He's like, nope. And I think maybe my career, whatever it may be, is punctuated by people going, I think Mark could be really interesting doing this and see what he does with it. And that's why I've been looked after by great writers and great showrunners. And those are my friends, One more wrote Battlestar for me, those things are amazing. Josh put me in Firefly because it was the role he wrote for himself that he wasn't allowed to do because he's probably a crap actor. I'm not joking. It's just as they said, it's all right, you do it. It's like one of those things, it's like, oh look, there's something with 20 pages of dialogue in it, it's got to be shot in 3 days. Give it to Mark, he talks. It's turned into like these wonderful genre pieces like Battlestar and Firefly. Who was an offer? It's like, basically, do you want to play James Bond? in 1969. I'm like, God, yeah. And it took a massive amount of effort to actually make it happen. It almost fell apart for me. I was distraught, but I had so much fun doing it. And that's been the characterization of all those things that I've done. I love doing them. Supernatural was getting up every day, getting in my car, driving to a set, saying hello to 100 people that I know, eating breakfast with drivers and painters and everybody else, and doing my job. And they're like praying that I'll bring them home on a Friday night. If I get this page of garbage out of my mouth fast enough on a Friday and turn it into some sort of magic, we might actually get to go home and see our families. So no pressure, Mark, but hurry up. That's the thing, is that feeling. Us flying together and us always going and doing conventions together, and us, with Supernatural, traveling. My wedding, for God's sake, so like 165 of my cast and crew at my wedding. It was amazing. It was just extraordinary. We worked hard, we played hard.
I love that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great starting question. Hi.
Hello.
We've got time for one more.
So, out of your entire time on Supernatural...
End of season 8.
My name's Wayne, I'm sorry.
End of season 8.
End of season 8. From your entire time, what was the most memorable moment that you remember being on the set with everybody? End of season 8.
The end of season 8. It was a really, really, really good season with a really, really good ending that ended up in this wonderful set of stuff that starts, I think, with me and Elena and ends up with The Angels Falling. And it's just, that whole thing was just an extraordinary experience. I was talking to Jared about it, because it's certainly the best stuff we ever did together. And it was so much fun to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hi.
Hi. If you were cremated and your ashes were turned into a vinyl record,
What song would that record play?
Well, it have to be Ashes to Ashes at that point. As long as it's not Mr. Crowley, I'm fine. It wouldn't, and I wouldn't, and that's tacky. I would expect at least a 30 or 40 foot monument to my greatness when I pass.
Thank you. Hi.
My question is, in Supernatural, what was your hardest scene?
End of season 8.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi. So my question is...
Season 5, episode 22.
That's a good one. Not quite the answer I was looking for. But if the characters from Supernatural, were real, which one would you want to meet the most?
I did the show for 8 years, right?
Yes,
There's a certain level of reality that is implied doing the show. And you never cross the streams, you just don't. That's what fan fiction is for. It's for you guys to write.
Who would you like to meet of the characters on the show?
well, put me on the spot there. I would probably...
Oh, really? You get up here and oh, were you? Well done.
Well, surprise! I would probably like to meet...
It's a Misha fan.
Gabriel?
Gabriel.
Who? We had a school French is really good too. I love Spade. Spade makes me laugh. Good director too.
Thank you. Hi.
Prepared. What do you want?
Hi there. So my question's actually not about Supernatural, but your time on Doctor Who. What was it like working with all of them?
What was it like? Would you like minute by minute? Let's go every while. It was wonderful. Can You see how much fun I was having? I get to straighten people's boats holidays for the rest of my life. Especially if they dressed up as a 11th Doctor. I mean, it was an incredible story. I read Stephen's, these 2 pieces, and I was like, you can't make this. It doesn't. How the hell is this going to make sense? And it made sense. It was quite wonderful. And then just the love that they all have for each other, to watch Matt and Arthur and Alex and Karen, just loving it. They were singing to each other sort of chorally between takes. It was just like, made them comfortable. It was the strangest thing. I think my favourite part was they called me up and said, okay, so when are you coming over to do the prosthetics? I went, for what? They said, well, the old you. I went, oh. Why don't you just ask my dad? And they went, would he do it? I said, yeah, of course he'd do it. I had no idea what he would do it.
Just throw him out there.
He lives up the road from me, so I was like, we lived up the road. He was like, so I said, yeah, of course he'd do it. No problem. Okay, we'll get in touch. Okay. Called my dad and said, oh, you're doing Doctor Who? He goes, it's not all bloody cardboard and bits of string anymore, is it? I'm like, no, it's great. So I sent him Matt Smith stuff. Fish fingers and custard forwards. And he's like, this boy's amazing. I said, so you're going to play the older me? All right, I'll do that. And he had to call up the union, because it was a non-union shooting at the time. So to call up the union, he goes, I'm Morgan here. I'm supposed to do this Doctor Who thingy. And what's it? And I think it's non-union. He went, yes, Morgan. So you were asking us for a waiver. He goes, well, I don't know. I just want to do it. He said, yes, Morgan, it's the greatest show ever. You've always wanted to do it, and this will be your only opportunity to do it before you pass. And would you like a waiver? Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I like that he called it a Doctor Who thingy.
Doctor Who thingy. He's like, you know, fine. Yes, Morgan, you can have a waiver. You can go do Doctor Who. So he came and did Doctor Who, and he loved it. He absolutely loved playing with them. It was so much fun. They loved it. They thought it was brilliant.
That's
Man on the beach, Lake Powell.
Yeah.
Lake Powell.
Thank you.
Go away. Rethink your clothing choices. Spend a little money and get a proper Crowley costume. Spend a little money.
Hi. What's been your favorite part of being Doom Patrol?
First of all, primarily, it took me a while to work it out. Jeremy Carver. I realized that the most fun I had in Supernatural was when Jeremy was there. And then I had a little less fun when he wasn't there. And then when he called me and said, do you want to play basically Constantine in Doom Patrol? I was like, which Doom Patrol are you doing? You doing the 60s one, or you doing Grant Morrison's one? Which one are you doing? And he's like, yeah, kind of like Grant's, but a little different. And I read it, it's absolutely brilliant. And the people are just wonderful. They are just so good. And you'll see some rather amazing Supernatural alumni on different parts of Doom Patrol. If you haven't seen it, it is so worth watching. It's all about mental health. It is very disturbing and very funny. It's not Supergirl, it's not The Boys, it is something very... An entire town disappears up the arse of a donkey. That's a start of horror. We've got puppets. Nazi puppets. Got some really good stuff.
And
yeah.
season 2 comes out in like 5
Season
weeks.
3.
Season 3.
It comes out on the 23rd.
Of September.
And season 3 has Madame Rouge, which is Michelle Douglas's character. She is extraordinary. So you've got the sister of the sister of the Dada, you've got all this sort of crazy stuff going on that goes in and out of where the comic book was. I had a little less to do in season 3, but it doesn't matter because you can't kill me, I'm immortal. I'm Constantine, so Beck called me immediately because they weren't allowed to put Constantine in the original comics in the 80s. So it is just fabulous. I love it. It makes me laugh. It makes me cry. It is written by some of the best and smartest writers I've ever known. It's massively inclusive of everybody and everything. And it's just a gorgeous gorgeous thing to watch. Lots of cursing too. Pretty much Brendan Fraser going, what the fuck? 3 seasons, it's great. Love it.
Thank you for
Watch
that.
it. If you haven't seen it, it's on HBO Max, and you'll suddenly go, oh my god, why didn't I see this? You didn't see it because it was on DC for the first year. So,
Yes, thank you.
thank you.
Hi.
Hi, my question is for Mark.
I hope so.
Do you have any fond memories or just
No.
Do you have any memories of just
I've gone down to, do you have any memories? Am I old? Do you have any fond memories? No. Do you have any memories? Do you remember anything? Do you remember their names? Do you remember the first letters of their names? Do you have any fond memories of what?
Jesse and Jared?
That's it? That's the question? There are hundreds of fond memories of those two years. I've seen so many memories. It's almost a decade of my life. Of course I do. It was magical. Listen, we worked hard, very, very hard. And we played really, really hard. And that was the fun thing. And it was always a bad idea to let the 4 of us get together and wait to do something. Because we would just mess about, investigate things, and do things we're not supposed to be doing. I loved it. I mean, it was just so much fun. We had you know what my favorite thing was? I mean, I always slaved Misha, I've always slaved Misha for years, but the truth is, Misha and I used to have to go do the press for the year on the Saturday at Comic-Con, right? The boys didn't bother to show up till the Sunday. Bloody typical. So for about 8 years, Misha and I, that's where you see all those amazing photographs of you and I. You see the piggyback photo and all those like ridiculous, because we were bored out of our minds. We'd be given the edict as to what we could or couldn't say about the season, and we had to do hundreds of interviews together. And it was just amazing. We just get I loved every minute of it. It was, you know, one time by accident they gave us the question cards for the Vampire Diaries that year. One day that will surface. Absolutely unrealistic. If you ever want to know how much fun it was for me, watch the Nerd HQ pounds.
Yes.
Which were something else. We'd do all the work we done with all age. We should feed them. We fed the entire line at Comic-Con many, many times. Amazing guy. Builds hospitals and schools. He's a goody. But yeah, the Nerd HQ pounds, if you haven't seen them, pull them up and you will actually see what we're like when we finished work.
Thank you for that. Hi.
So Crowley and Castiel had a very love-hate relationship throughout the whole show. So my question is, if you and
Where was the hate? I don't see any hate. Making fun of him is not hating him.
if you and Misha had the opportunity to have your own show,
We did. It was called Supernatural. The only reason I watched it. 2 people. I love you, bro. Glad stick in the motor oil. That was annoying. I like the bits with me and him. Oh, I like Steve. Steve was my favourite character on the show. A lot smarter than Castiel.
Are you thinking like a spin-off show
yeah,
with the 2 of them?
Agent Z and Beyonce.
if you had the opportunity to have your own spin-off show, what would it be about?
Agent Z and Beyonce. Wouldn't. Done what we've done, it is what it is, it's wonderful. My favourite moment with Misha, the honey. Honey bag, that was funny, nobody knows about that, it's a complicated story. It was around with Meg. It was that scene with Meg and the honey and the bees and the honey. Just shoving a bag of honey in each other's face. No, my favourite one is when we're doing the Z and Beyonce stuff. We go to the mall and we have that CSI Miami moment where we're standing over the party. Just to go past. Take the shades off. And it's just the look on Jensen's face, which is real, like, as he sees the two of us standing over a body, and you see that. I thought it was wonderful. It's not my favorite, you know what my favorite part of the whole series is? What'd you say?
Yeah, is season 8?
And season 8, yes. Now, my actual favorite mini moment of the whole thing was, it was very funny, well done, you're awake, I'm not. Was, where's your moose? Because Jensen's Dean's response to that is, oh, he just woke up. It was instantaneous, and that ended all the hunt for a really good nickname. Instantaneously, we went from Gigantor, headed lumberjacks, all the stuff, you know, flannel-clad nightmares or whatever it was. But all of those insults weren't funny. You know, giraffe. It wasn't funny. Moose, perfect. And it stuck. And then my other favourite bit was when we had the date with Sheriff Mills. Remember the date with Sheriff Mills? And then she, of course, the audience hates me through this entire scene because she doesn't know who I am. And every audience like, it's Crowley, he's going to kill you! So I'm having a blind date with Kim. And she's big like sweet with my hands on her hand. I was like, yeah! He's evil! Back away! And there's this moment where the phone rings, and when you're shooting a TV show, you don't hear the phone ring on set. Somebody actually goes, ring, ring, in the background. And I thought it was being really clever, so I picked up the right. This is the kid. And then I have this conversation with Dean, right? And by the time it went to post-production, they'd inserted a shot of the hand and the phone and stuff. And so when the ring came on, what was the ringtone?
Not squirrel.
I like big butts and so I'm not paying attention to I like big butts and I'm not paying attention to ring, ring. And I'm like this, it's just, I like big butts and so I look at the phone, right? And they cut in a shot of what's on the phone. And on the phone is written, not moose.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much. Hi.
I was just wondering if you read.
Stop wondering and stand still.
I can't, my anxiety's too high.
You got anxiety? Cool, I can really mess you up right now.
Do you read fan fiction of your own characters?
God, no. Why would I do that?
Do you write fan fiction?
Every day.
Well, there you go. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, big fan, and I'm sure you probably get asked this all the time, but the kiss between you and Jim Beaver. Rumors circulating around the internet that was done on your phone, taken on your phone, and that you still have that phone to this day.
So are you asking if that's true?
Yeah.
What makes you think right now is going to be the moment? When it's all cleared up.
Oh, nice picture of my wife. You've seen my wife, you know that.
She's hot.
She's very hot.
Oh yeah.
This is me puckering up just before. I know what's happening.
It looks like he's pulling away a little bit.
And there's the third one. And what you don't know is that the person directing it managed to make that go on for about 5 minutes. They rolled cameras, they did all sorts of stuff. They're supposed to be taking this quick snap on an iPhone. It It's like, hold on, hold on, just hold on a second. No, I'm just moving the lights. It went on forever. What's that about my phone?
Love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
I just wanted to say, my mom's here and she's been a fan since X-Files, but her anxiety isn't letting her talk to you. I was just wondering, since her birthday is next week, would you say happy birthday to you?
What's her name?
Jennifer?
Happy birthday, Jeff. Let's do it right, guys.
Hi.
Hey there. Alrighty, so.
We'll be the judge of that.
Yes. You seem to have a lot of science fiction in your record.
No.
And your father seems to have a little bit of it too. You're big fans of his work on D5 and Star Trek. I was just kind of wondering, was science fiction something that was prevalent in your family?
It's where the stories are.
It's where the stories are.
It's where the stories are. I mean, he asked fun, but there's only so many people who can talk about the medical problems. It's much more fun talking about them in space.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. We have time for 2 more questions. So go over here.
No pressure, but it better be good.
What was your least favorite part about filming Supernatural?
The weather. What?
It is not supernatural related. I'm wondering if you heard from Dean Devlin or Christian Kane about coming back for the reboot.
No, they didn't invite me.
I love Sterling, so.
No, they didn't invite me back. It's an Amazon thing. They didn't invite me back for the 11th season.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
I was just wondering, out of all your lines in Supernatural, how much of them were from the writers and how much were from you? Like you just
Most of them were from the writers, and they all used to take turns thinking how brilliant they were, writing me stuff that's impossible to say, like, no one in the history of torture has been tortured with torture like the torture you've been tortured. There's a good sort of wrap up to this. The last creation con I did in San Francisco. What? Sorry, you're right, I'm wrong, DC. Felt like San Francisco. It was the one I did in DC with the paddles. Yeah, so certain people handed out paddles with my dialogue. And I was wandering around doing my Morton Downey Jr. impression, harassing babies and doing what I usually do on the floor. That's not bothered today. I did it on the way in, it was more fun. Sometimes I see people, it's actually quite fun too. But they held up little paddles, and all these little paddles were lines that I'd had over 8 seasons of me talking. And what was funny is I remembered all of them. That was interesting, so my memory's not sharp. But I was starting to recall the context of each one of those lines. And it was so much fun to see. And it's just, you know, there's people with my stuff tattooed on their bodies. And there's things that ring true for people, that have meaning, and they analog of that is what they like and what they enjoy. There's always been the themes of Supernatural, and of Who, and of Battlestar, and of Firefly, and of all those shows that I love doing, is that, you know, A, love conquers all, always has in everything, and B, it's worth fighting for. You know, that's what it's about. Love is worth fighting for, it really is. Everything else is just garbage. Hate, you know, pettiness. It means nothing. Love, souls, everything. I see so much of that with you guys. I really do. I see you bringing, you know, people bringing their kids to conventions. I see people I've seen many times before at other conventions. I see people dressing up with their hearts on their sleeves. This is a courageous thing to do. But I see really positive things coming out of it. I see gishwares, I see the things you do that we like, that you get behind us and make it 1,000 times bigger. And that's the greatest experience in my life. This is a little show. I've been on bigger shows, but I don't think I've ever been on a show that's had more impact. impact. I don't think I've ever been on a show that I've seen so much kindness and so much sharing between people, and I'm proud to be part of that. And I'm proud to know each and every one of you, and I love you all very, very much. Not tomorrow, if you want part two, you can get the rest of the which one did I like better, Jensen Gerald.